Rain lashed against the 47th floor windows of Sterling Capitol, turning Manhattan into a smeared watercolor of neon and shadows. Alex Morgan stared at the Excel grid glowing on his monitor, endless rows of numbers that once felt like power, now just digital bars of a gilded cage. The clock read 3:07 a.m. His third espresso sat cold beside a framed photo, younger Alex grinning on a Costa Rican beach, surfboard under arm, skin sun-kissed. 10 years. 2 mergers. 1 divorce. When did success become a life measured in missed sunrises? The thought hissed through his exhaustion. His phone buzzed. Not his boss, but Sarah, his college best friend, now living in Boulder. Happy 35th, stranger. Surf's up in my heart. You alive? Attached was that same Costa Rica photo. Before he could react, an email notification flashed. Termination notice, effective immediately. Position eliminated in restructuring. Access revoked. No warning. No severance package. Just 12 years dissolved into a sterile HR template. The air conditioning hummed like a funeral dirge. Alex picked up the Costa Rica photo. The glass reflected his current self, hollow eyes, jaw tight enough to crack walnuts, a $300 tie knotted like a noose. That guy rode waves. This guy rides the 2 a.m. subway. He stood abruptly. The leather chair sighed as if relieved. In the elevator, his reflection in polished steel showed a ghost in Armani. Outside, rain needled his face as he hailed a cab. Where to? Asked the driver, eyeing Alex's designer suit. Brooklyn loft? Empty. Therapist's office? Closed. Dad's hospital? Shame. Grand Central, Alex rasped. Inside the terminal, marble echoed with ghosts of his commute. He followed signs to the bus depot, a realm of flickering fluorescence and stale pretzel smells. A clerk with a Beth name tag chewed gum behind plexiglass. Destination? Alex scanned the board. Buffalo. Pittsburgh. Burlington, Vermont, places where no one knew VP titles or EBITDA margins. Next bus out. Burlington, Vermont. Gate 14. Leaves in 17 minutes. $78 cash. He shoved crumpled bills under the glass. The ticket felt alien, thick pulp paper smelling of diesel and freedom. On the platform, a saxophonist played Autumn Leaves with rain dripping from his hat. Alex's phone lit up, MOM calling. He pictured her worry lines, heard her voice, "Be practical, Alex." He silenced it, watching raindrops explode on the concrete like tiny surrenders. The bus arrived with a hydraulic wheeze, a scarred greyhound smelling of disinfectant and lost dreams. As Alex boarded, a teenager in a Nirvana tee nodded from the back seat. "Rock bottom's comfy, huh?" he smirked, patting the stained upholstery. Alex sank into the seat. Through fogged windows, Manhattan's skyline shimmered, a tomb of glass and ambition. The engine growled to life. As the bus pulled away, he whispered to his reflection. "Let them bury an empty suit." The city vanished behind a curtain of rain. Somewhere near Poughkeepsie, Alex Morgan slept for the first time in 48 hours. Not the twitchy sleep of Ambien and anxiety, but the deep, drowning sleep of a man who'd finally stopped swimming against the current. The Greyhound thundered north through the Hudson Valley, tires humming on wet asphalt. Alex woke near New Paltz to golden dawn light piercing the fog. His neck ached, his mouth tasted like stale coffee, and his Hugo Boss suit was crumpled into a linen disaster. Across the aisle, the Nirvana kid, Jax, drummed on his knees, earbuds blasting sound like angry bees. "Welcome to the Zombie Express," Jax said, yanking out a bud. "You snore like a chainsaw, suit guy." "Alex." "Jax. Where you dying today?" "Burlington." Jax snorted. "Random. I dig it." Outside, the world softened. Manhattan's steel canyons gave way to rolling hills dotted with red barns and pumpkin patches. At a rest stop called Marty's All-American Diner, Alex stumbled off the bus. The air smelled of pine needles and diesel. Inside, chrome stools gleamed under fluorescent lights. A waitress with a name tag reading, "Darlene, 27 years no regrets," slid a mug toward him. "Coffee's bottomless, honey. Like my ex's promises." Her laugh was a gravelly smoke break sound. "Running from or running to?" Alex stirred synthetic creamer into the murky liquid. "Is there a difference?" "Always. Running from leaves holes. Running to." She tapped his ticket. "Phil's, M. Jack slid into the booth, stealing toast from Alex's plate. He's running from spreadsheets, Darlene. Corporate drone. Right? Alex flinched. Was. Darlene eyed his Rolex. Let me guess. Burnout? Divorce? Secret indictment? Just tired of being a ghost in my own life. She refilled his cup. Burlington's full of ghosts. Nice ones. Lake Champlain's drowned a million secrets. Back on the bus, Alex tried his dead laptop. No backup drive. No cloud storage. Panic fizzed, then faded. Jax tossed him a battered paperback, Kerouac's On the Road. Read page 62. You'll need it. Near Rutland, the sky bruised purple. Rain hammered the roof like thrown gravel. The bus shuddered, hydroplaning. Tires screeched. Metal screamed as they fishtailed into a ditch. Alex's forehead slammed the seat ahead. Warm blood trickled into his eye. Everybody out, the driver barked. They stood on Route 7's shoulder, rain slicing sideways. Jax hooped, spinning in the downpour. Awesome. You alive, suit guy? Alex touched his bleeding brow. No Uber app. No corporate Amex. Just mud, Jax's manic grin, and a cracked phone with 12% battery. A tow truck arrived, driven by a woman with rainbow dreads crammed under a Grateful Dead beanie. Need a lift, kittens? Fern's voice was warm honey. Climb in, Smokey the Bear here says this rig's stuck till dawn. In the truck's cab, heat blasting, Fern handed Alex a bandana. Pressure on that cut, warrior. Jack shook wet hair like a dog. Where to? Fern eyed Alex's bleeding temple. My studio's 10 minutes. Got kills, coffee, and comfort for that head. Alex stared at his reflection in the rain-streaked window. Blood. Mud. A smile cracking his face. Alive. Jax jabbed his arm. Told you page 62 was key. Alex flipped open the soggy Kerouac. Because the only people for me are the mad ones. Fern's studio smelled of wood smoke, wet earth, and something sweet, vanilla. The barn's rafters dripped with drying herbs. Jax immediately claimed a sagging couch, shaking rain from his hair like a wet retriever. Fern pressed a cloth soaked in pungent green paste to Alex's forehead. Comfrey. Stops bleeding, starts healing. The space defied categorization. Wheels crusted with dried clay, half-glazed mugs on rough pine shelves, a massive brick kiln glowing orange in the corner. Above it, a hand-painted sign, Perfection is lazy. Make honest things. Sit, Fern commanded, thrusting a lump of cool gray clay into Alex's hands. Squeeze. It yielded like cold flesh. Unsettling. Alive. Now center it. She guided his trembling hands to the spinning wheel. Don't force. Allow. Alex pushed. The clay wobbled, collapsed. Again. A third time. Mud sprayed his ruined shirt. Jack snorted. Worse than my first skateboard wipeout. Fern silenced him with a look. Your hands remember spreadsheets. Teach them humility. Ours bled. Alex's shoulders burned. Clay became slop. Frustration tightened his throat. Failure. Always. Crack. Jax hurled his own creation, a twisted gargoyle, against the wall. Stupid mud. Fern didn't flinch. Feel better? No. Good. Now clean it up. As Jax scraped clay shards, Alex saw it, a purple-black bruise flowering across the boy's ribs. Later, by the crackling wood stove, Fern ladled venison stew. Rain drummed the roof. Boy's got demons, she said softly, watching Jax sleep. Ran from a stepdad who used him as a punching bag. Alex's corporate solution brain sparked. Call CPS. Hire a lawyer. Fix it. Fern read his face. Not everything needs fixing. Sometimes it just needs witnessed. Alex approached the couch. Jax's eyes snapped open, defiant, scared. Show me, Alex said quietly. Jax lifted his shirt. The bruise was old, yellowing at the edges. He's in jail now. Doesn't matter. It matters, Alex said, the words thick. I'm sorry. Jax yanked his shirt down. Whatever. Your cups still suck. At dawn, Alex found Fern stoking the kiln. Flames licked the bricks. Stay a week, she offered. Split wood. Wash glaze buckets. No pay. Alex looked at his mud-caked Italian loafers. At his hands, raw, nail beds packed with clay. He remembered his penthouse view. The emptiness. Okay, he said. He pulled his dead phone from his suit jacket. Powered it on. 3% battery. Texted Sarah. Learning to hold things that don't shatter. Attached, a photo of his 5th collapsed cup. Her reply flashed as the screen died. That's my surfer. Mornings began with roosters. Alex learned. Splitting maple logs blisters palms faster than typing. Dishwater steam opens pores better than a spa facial. Silence isn't empty, it's full of bird calls, creaking floors, Jax's off-key humming. One Tuesday, a customer sneered at Alex's lopsided mug. You sell this? Fern slid it from his hands. It's not junk. It's brave. She priced it at $20. Courage tax. Jax started at the local high school. Alex walked him each morning past sugar maples blazing crimson. If you bail, Jax muttered, kicking acorns, I'll hunt you down. Alex handed him a peanut butter sandwich, crusts cut off, like Sarah used to do for him. Eat. Your clay dragon needs fuel. Nights, Alex sketched by kerosene lamp, mugs shaped like storm clouds, bowls textured like tree bark. Fern nodded. City boys finally seeing. Then, a voicemail from a 212 number. Alex, it's Mom. Your father collapsed. Mount Sinai. ICU. Come home. Alex's latest mug, a delicate thing with a whale-tail handle, slipped, shattered on the floor. Fern pressed bus tickets into his hand. Go. Clay waits. In the ICU waiting room, fluorescent lights buzzed like his old office. His mother's face was parchment thin. He asked for you, she whispered. His father lay shrunken under tubes. Machines beeped. Alex gripped Jax's clay gargoyle in his pocket. Missed birthdays. Abrupt phone calls. Too busy, Dad. He took his father's hand, calloused from decades on Wall Street, now frighteningly frail. Remember, teaching me to surf? Alex's voice cracked. I wiped out, you said, waves don't apologize. Just rise again. His father's eyelids fluttered open. Blurred blue eyes focused. You came. Alex squeezed the cold hand. Took the scenic route. Brooklyn hit Alex like a physical blow. The subway's metallic shriek, the sour smell of garbage baking on sidewalks, the relentless press of bodies, it felt alien after Vermont's quiet rhythm. Sarah's couch was a life raft in her cramped Park Slope apartment. Still bleeding money, she joked, handing him a key. Your rent is dish duty and not judging my plant graveyard. He found work at The Salty Anchor, a dive bar near the docks. Mopping floors sticky with spilled beer, washing endless pint glasses, he felt the ghost of his old life jeer. Vice president to busboy. Visiting his father became a daily pilgrimage. Richard Morgan, once a titan of mergers, was now a shrunken figure learning to walk again. Physical therapy was brutal. Pathetic, his father rasped one afternoon, slumped in a wheelchair after failing to lift a 2-pound weight. Should have retired before this. Alex knelt, placing his father's hand on a smooth river stone he'd carried from Vermont. Feel that? Cold, right? Hard. He flipped it. But this side? Worn smooth. Water did that. Slowly. Without mercy. His father's eyes, clouded with pain meds, sharpened for a moment. Since when are you a philosopher? Since mud became my therapist. One rainy Tuesday, Sarah dragged him to Coney Island. The cyclone rattled their bones. At the peak, suspended over the churning gray Atlantic, she yelled against the wind. Who are you now, Alex Morgan? He watched a gull dive, snatch a fry, vanish into the mist. The guy who makes terrible mugs, he shouted back, the words ripped away by the gale. She punched his arm, grinning. Better than the guy who made PowerPoints die. Jax called weakly. Fern's teaching me crystalline glazing. Made a vase that looks like your ugly face after that bus crash. Alex could hear the unspoken question, are you coming back? Then, an email from Fern. Subject, Imperfect Beauty. Burlington Gallery juried exhibit. Theme, Flaws as Strength. Submission deadline, November 1st. Send photos of 3 pieces. No names until selection. F. Alex stared at Sarah's tiny kitchen table, littered with bills and takeout menus. Flaws as strength. He bought cheap clay from an art store, commandeered her fire escape. Nights blurred. He sculpted. A bowl with deliberate cracks radiating from the center, thunderstorm. A mug warped by an unseen pressure, uneven ground. A simple plate, its rim deliberately chipped and repaired with gold lacquer, kintsugi heart. He shipped them in a reused Amazon box, patting them with Sarah's dead fern fronds. Weeks crawled by. His father improved, walking with a cane, his sarcasm returning with his strength. "This ceramic phase," he grunted one day, watching Alex wedge clay on Sarah's counter. "Is it profitable? Or just dirt therapy?" Alex thought of his lopsided $20 mug at Fern's. "Does it matter?" His father studied him, a flicker of something unfamiliar in his eyes. "Maybe not." The rejection email arrived on a Thursday. Polite, sterile. "Thank you for your submission. While your work showed promise, it was not selected." Alex felt the old numbness creep back. Foolish. Childish. He was scrubbing beer taps at the Salty Anchor when his dying phone buzzed, a Vermont area code. "Alex?" Fern's voice crackled. "Get your suit cleaned. You're coming back." "What?" Thunderstorm won best in show. Silence. The bar's roar faded. He saw the cracked bowl in his mind. Imperfect. Alive. The email said. Fern laughed. Galleries send rejections to everyone before announcing winners. Build suspense. Or cruelty. Your bowl's lit up like the damn crown jewels. Openings Friday. Alex leaned against the sticky bar, the smell of stale beer and lemon cleaner suddenly sweet. Jax's voice yelled in the background, "Told you your face was art, suit guy." Burlington Gallery hummed with opening night chatter, a stark contrast to Fern's quiet barn. Crystal glasses clinked. Black-clad patrons murmured about textural intentionality and embraced vulnerability. Alex stood frozen in the doorway, his one surviving suit feeling like a costume. Then he saw it. Centered on a glowing plinth, Thunderstorm by Anonymous. His cracked bowl, bathed in light. The fissures weren't hidden, they were highlighted, filled with resin that glittered like captured lightning. The placard read, "Stoneware. Flaws are not mistakes, but records of resilience." A hand clamped his shoulder. Fern, radiant in indigo velvet, pulled him into a lavender-scented hug. "City boy. You finally arrived." Jax stood beside her, hair tamed into a messy bun, wearing a surprisingly clean flannel shirt over his band tee. He thrust a lumpy object at Alex, a clay ashtray shaped like a snarling gargoyle. "For your dad. Tell him it's modern art." The gallery owner, a sleek woman named Arden, materialized. "Mr. Anonymous. Your work is raw. Authentic. We have collectors asking." She named a figure that made Alex's knees weak. 5 figures. For a bowl. Later, on the gallery's rooftop under a canopy of stars, Fern handed Alex an envelope. Inside, a deed. Mud and Magic Pottery, owner, A. Morgan and F. Chen. "The barn's yours too," she said softly. "Jax needs roots. I need less kiln stoking in my old age. You need a home." Seems simple. Years flowed. Mud and Magic thrived. Tourists bought Jax's edgy mugs, toxic positivity etched beside a smiling skull, and Alex's serene river stone platters. The studio walls held sacred relics. His first collapsed cup, the humility piece. Thunderstorm under permanent glass. Richard Morgan's gargoyle ashtray, Dad's demon slayer. One crisp autumn afternoon, Alex stood by the Winooski River, skipping stones. 1, 2, 3, 4. "Still throw like a finance bro." Sarah's voice echoed. She walked toward him, holding up 2 plane tickets. "Costa Rica. Next month. Swear you won't drown this time." "Deal." Alex smiled. "Bringing Dad. He claims he can still surf." As sunset gilded the river, Alex pulled a smooth, water-worn stone from his pocket, the one he'd carried since Grand Central. He pressed its coolness to his palm, feeling the years of fear, grit, and unexpected grace embedded in it. He didn't skip it. He placed it carefully on the studio's welcome sign. Inside, Jax, now teaching a ceramics class for at-risk teens, was demonstrating how to center clay. "Stop fighting it," he barked, echoing Fern. "Let the mud tell you what it wants to be." Alex watched them, the messy, beautiful noise of creation filling the barn. He hadn't disappeared that rainy night. He'd simply been clearing space. The real arrival, he realized, wasn't a destination on a ticket. It was the quiet moment when you finally recognized the shape of your own life in your hands, imperfect and wholly yours, and knew it was exactly where it was meant to be.